All right.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right. I'm ready as well. Right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 60 of Arknolia and the Doctor, our music memory series. It's me and Arknolia here. And I talked to Bullzie on Skype not too long ago. I actually messaged him. And he's possibly going to be joining us later on so we could possibly do some wrestling talk since I wasn't able to. I haven't yet to hear a reply from Ashley there. So I guess it'll be us three, me, Bullzie, and you. So talking about
Okay.
wrestling. And definitely got to, that link you sent me through the Gmail, you got to send to Bullzie in the Skype chat for him to check out, man, because that was something, man.
Which one?
I think the one you just sent me today with Jerry King Lawler and Bill Dundee, some fight in the concession stand.
Yeah, and it's the future honky tonk man.
Yeah, it's Wade Ferris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy's real name there. So
Yeah, that thing got really ugly.
yeah, but kind of reminiscent of the supermarket fight between Booker T and Stone Cold Steve Austin years on down the line there.
Yeah.
Now, no doubt you could bet all the whichever wrestling company that was involved in that there or sanctioned that, they definitely had to shell out a lot of money there to pay for the repair of those stands there, let alone the supermarket for that angle. I remember there that I mentioned. So,
Yeah.
so definitely, the company really had to shout out a lot there. I had to guess they had to sign a couple pieces of paper, this and that there. So, but that kind of stuff is always fun to watch there when you think about it there. I remember AEW, had something like that between members of the Inner Circle, I guess John Moxley or a couple others there. I also had a couple
Yeah.
of, yes, that's something that we do miss seeing a lot of times. So far, the only thing we saw for the WWE towards that was when Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch were all getting handcuffed, and Lynch, I guess Charlotte and Rousey was in the same back of the police car, and they started going at it with their feet because they were both cuffed. And Rousey, I guess, ended up busting one of the police car windows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we'll wait for Bullseye to get into that stuff deeper.
absolutely there. And I want to address what happened last night because it seems to be the talk of the town there. Now, let me explain the whole situation, what happened there. I was walking, listening to my MP3. I get a text saying, can you go pick up cigarettes on the way back? I said, sure, I will, meaning my sister and brother in law. So I head over, I'm walking to the gas station there, and then I'm getting this whichever snack on something to drink there. I get the cigarettes, and it's these two punk kids are sitting down at a little table nearby. Say, hey, why you looking at the girls? Why you looking at my chicks, man? Why you looking? I'm saying, I'm not looking at no one. They start calling me the N word and this and that. I get my stuff. I walk out. I sat in the nearby Mexican cafe outside there, where they have these benches and that there. I try to call in on Ken's program there to say hi, see what's up there, and all that bullshit there. These two punk motherfuckers walk up from behind me, confront me, and say, "Put the phone down. Apologize. Don't wait. No, why are you looking at a girlfriend's? Trying to entice some shit with me." They're telling me to put the phone down. All that was recorded on the Ken's program there. I get now. Here's the thing. I get up. I had a pocket knife. I had a big pocket knife in my back pocket there. I pulled that out. These two motherfuckers start running like cowardly bitches. Just shoom out the way, gone. Gone. So afterwards, I called the police, told them what's going on. They said they're going to send a police car over there to get some information, description, and all that.
Right.
Then I had to wait God knows how long for them because apparently what I found out when I called it twice that the cop car that was supposed to be coming over here had a emergency calling at the last minute there, so I had to take care of that before they came over here. So in the
Right.
meantime, I call in back on Ken's program to let him know what happened here, and that's about it. Cop car finally showed up soon after I hung up and gave him the details. They went patrolling the area to to find these two guys to see if they were still around. And I found out from the gas station attendant that one of them, who had a buzz cut there, was known to entice shit with other people in the past. Starting shit with other people.
Oh, that's always nice to find out.
Yeah, I know exactly, man. And that makes me mad because, I mean, I just don't understand what the fuck is up with these people. But then again, this kind of brings me back when I was living in Roseville.
Yeah.
What happened? There was these punk kids who were these little teeny small punk kids. There's some Bullzies up here. I said watching, but still can't chat in your chat. I said, why not, Bullzie? Is something wrong there? What's going on? I should probably add him to the call here for a couple of minutes here after I get done with this. But there was these two small boys. They would try to mess with somebody with their reading a newspaper or something like that, and the magazine stand there, and they would try to get them to entice them to come outside, and they would get ganged up by these older kids there.
Right.
And that's what this whole bullshit from last night kind of reminded me of. Think about it there. It's just the idea, but then again, these were two punk teenagers who thought they were gangster. And you know what they're kind of talking about. Basically, you know how Dave Rose likes to refer the looters, the rioters, the protesters as joggers, meaning the word that we know what we're talking about there.
Right.
These kids were basically woggers, and I think you know what I'm referring to as when you really think about it there. So it was like, I guess it was a big talk of the town. Of course, later on, Gatekeeper Drew calls in, and they Kim and Ken start talking and all that good stuff there. And all right, so let's see here. Let's see here. No, don't know. I'm typing something. The message ain't going through in the chat there. Let me see what's going on here. Let me pop up.
You do have the subscriber thing for 5 weeks or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Has Bullzie been with you that long?
It hasn't been that long. Bullzie, you need to subscribe to my channel because I have it on subscriber mode. That's what it is. That's what I have it here. Because apparently we had, last time we went live, we had all these damn trolls, fucking with us here and left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Bullzie, definitely try to subscribe to the channel. Or better yet, if you wish, I can add Bullzie to the call here. If you wish, right now.
Forward with that, but yeah.
Okay, let me he's just messaged something again. Let me see what he's writing here. Okay, let's. I am subscribed. Okay, there. Okay, good. Okay, so definitely go ahead and give it a shot, Bullzie, in the chat there. I guess I'll wait that out a little bit. All right. He said list, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. Well, it's good. He'll wait a longer for to call in or be added in. That's what he said in the Skype chat here, the Skype message board there.
Okay.
Okay, so with that bullshit aside there, I guess
we're going to kind of start out with a bang on the T's.
Yeah, I know. We went through the
Talking
S's.
Heads.
That's right, yeah. Talking Heads, David Byrne, Chris France, Tima Weymouth, and I forgot the other fourth member's name is, but
same as it ever was.
It was absolutely one of that big song that made it was massively big on MTV there.
Yeah, that and Burning Down the House.
Yep, absolutely. That was a massive big hit back at that time there.
Yeah,
massive big hit.
Did a good cover of Take It to the River.
Oh yeah, remember that's the first time I actually heard from that song.
Yeah.
That's for actually, let me rephrase that. That was actually the first time I heard of the Talking Heads. Came out in 1979. It was a damn good sound production of an album.
Yeah.
So
that video on that,
Once in a Lifetime?
Once in a Lifetime.
Yeah.
Was a fun video to watch.
It was, absolutely, Barry. It was.
But that was one of the better groups of the 80s, I thought.
Yeah. Sadly, that they had a lot of issues. I guess what it was, they decided they wanted to get back together, but they had to call themselves the Heads because David Byrne didn't allow them that because it would cause a lot of massive confusion amongst their diehard fans out there. Here's what's the
Right.
David Talking Heads without David Byrne? Are you giving me a break there?
Yeah, that's not something you want to do.
Yeah, it's true. That's right. So that's basically what it is here. So right now, let me go back to the live streaming page that I have right up. It's going to be up there. Hmm. Apparently, computer is acting a little bit slow as always. I should probably update that
Well,
bitch.
it's up.
I know it is up there, but it's for some reason I don't know what it is. Is that the gift that I'm using for the screen there is take its all sweet time. I don't understand why there.
Oh, you mean the guy twirling in the air?
Yeah, absolutely there. Let's see what we got here. Unable to send a message. It's a YouTube thing, so I can't usually chat in others' chats. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Well, it must be a YouTube issue.
Oh gosh, and I'm sick and tired of this YouTube issue, man. Bullshit going on. Internet has been fucking up as of late. I don't know why, man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And I don't appreciate it one bit because I'm the kind of guy that expects everything to work properly no matter what.
The next group's actually a pretty decent group too.
Yeah.
Tears for Fears.
Yeah, they're pretty good there. You know, they still play Everyone Wants to Rule the World at the
Yeah.
supermarket that I work at, believe it or not.
Well, I got to tell you a funny story about the
Yeah.
supermarket. I was in the supermarket shopping one day, and I
Yes.
was in the detergent section, and I was right in front of a product, and as I'm reaching for the product,
And we know
the
what it
song
is.
Shout starts up, and I'm
And we
sitting
know.
there and looking at it.
Yep.
That's exactly what I have in my hand.
Absolutely there. So no,
That was bizarre.
didn't the Shout Detergent Company use that song for its? I think they may have tried to use that song for their commercials, but I think the band disallowed it. I guess didn't want that being done because
Yeah,
it's a different
probably so,
topic.
but I don't know that.
Yeah, but because I know I saw a couple memes on a couple Facebook pages regarding that as well.
But that was so bizarre. I'm sitting there, and well, as a Kroger.
Yeah,
It's about the only place I did shop at that time.
yeah. And by the way, keep in mind the name Tears for Fears was based on a book. I forgot the name of the doctor who wrote it, but this doctor was apparently I guess he was a pioneer of a thing called the primal scream therapy,
Yeah,
whereas you're confronting, you're going back to the past to confront some past traumas, and the result of that where you is to let out this massive scream, shouting, screaming, and I think that's may
right.
have, in fact, John Lennon apparently was involved in this because he had a lot of issues in his past that he's still having yet to deal with. Whether it's the issue with the Beatles breaking up, the issues with Apple Records and EMI, his mother dying in a car wreck, and his father leaving
Yeah,
him as a young at a young age.
yeah. His mother and father. That was the subject of one of his best songs. I thought,
The
"Mother,
song "Mother," yeah, that was a gritty song to listen to. In fact, the whole album it
holy
came from,
cow!"
yeah,
I mean,
like it was
that was a hard one to listen to because you could hear the emotion in his voice as he was singing. I
absolutely.
mean, he was.
Oh man, I remember hearing that just as well, man. The song
But
"Working Class Hero" and "My Mommy's Dead," the album closer, was that as well. In fact, apparently that record may have played a part in the influence of Pink Floyd's "The Wall."
probably, because all of them influence each other, even though they won't admit it.
Yeah, that's true. There, they often try to make themselves look massively original, like Prince saying, "What I'm doing is now. What I'm doing is original." When we see in his live acts that he was clearly influenced by James Brown.
Yeah, yeah. You can go back. Even the 50s and 60s guys were influenced by someone earlier. I mean, it's a cycle.
Absolutely, man.
My next one's another. Well, he had at least one good song. He might have had others.
All right.
Uh, Thomas Dolby.
Oh man, You know, give this guy credit because he played on Foreigner's 4 album. He worked with Lydia Lunch. And he also, who you remember, was a well-known 80s singer there. She
Yeah.
had a song called New Toy. She had a couple other songs, and Dolby was featured in one of the videos, if I remember there. And apparently, this guy was like, he was known to make synthesizers not sound like synthesizers there.
Oh,
Yes. In fact, I think one of his best songs have to be One of Our Submarines. Because it had featured that old 70s synthesizer playing throughout the track there. And we also know his main song, She Blinded Me with Science.
yeah. That's the one I remember the most easily.
And of course, Europa and the Pirate Twins, or Europa, that's what it was originally called there, which is a pretty good video there when you look at it. And I guess Dolby later on got together with a couple of I guess I don't know what he's doing now, but I remember me and my best friend Dennis seeing him back in '88 for my birthday, and I remember he was more my best friend loved him, but he hated the new material that he put it out at that time.
Right.
He was not into stuff like hot sauce, she's hot and spicy kind of stuff there. But basically, he was hoping for the old timers, what he's saying about the subjects that they used to sing about before there.
Yeah.
And I guess he even said at one time, he said, "I was so mad I broke that tape in half, blah blah blah, and this and that there." And apparently, I had to walk away because it was my birthday. He later did apologize afterwards, saying he was sorry that he didn't want to ruin my birthday present there, this and that. But still, it was so I had to remind him a couple of times, that was not cool, dude. That wasn't right.
Yeah.
All right, Bullzie and the message board on Skype here saying I'll hop in eventually. Busy at the moment. Okay, take your time, dude.
Next one is another group that had a couple of pretty good songs.
All right.
Thompson Twins.
Oh yeah, the two. And what's kind of funny, I guess the black dude Joe, I forgot, I don't know his name there. I guess he does some stuff there in Hollywood, I guess, for movies and TV shows there, I guess it was.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's editing or something like that there. Remember, a lot of these 80s stars, go on to eventually get day jobs. Remember
Right.
Ali Score, the drummer from the Flock of Seagulls? He's in the computer business here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them had to do that because the music business wasn't as kind as it was in the 60s and 70s.
Absolutely, because they were like the trendy thing at the moment, but things move on. Here comes the next batch of groups that come in, and this and that, and so on and so on and so on. The same thing with the hair glam metal bands of that around that era there. They were oozed out of the picture when the grunge alternative scene came in there.
Yeah.
And now the grunge alternative scene was oozed out by all this new metal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Things-
the next. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Now go ahead, dude.
Well, actually, I was trying to remember what the big one was Thompson Twins did besides Doctor
Bullzie.
Doctor.
Oh yeah. Well, they have Hold Me Now. They had
That's
Lies, Lies, Lies. They had
Hold Me Now was huge. I love
I know
that
it
song.
was. And Bullzie, hold on a second, Bullzie. I will add you into the call because it will take me. I have to because right now it's not coming up right there. There we go. Tell you what, I'll take his call and I'll add you back to the mix. Okay.
Okay.
Good, good, good. All right. See if we could do this here. Okay. Bullzie, you there, dude? It's going to be a couple of minutes there. Maybe his computer is slow here. Bullzie, you there, man? Bowles? What the fuck, dude? I swear, man. Sick and tired of this bullshit with the stupid Skype here. There you are. Let's see here. Bullzie? Oh, yeah. Let me add Ark to this show here once more. Apparently what it was, it's, okay. I don't know why it does that, man. I really don't. I'm gonna have to clean out this computer when I'm done with this show here. I'm gonna add Arc to the back to the mix here. All right, all right. Let's see what goes on here.
You
Blah
still
blah.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now, Bullzie. I'm getting Arky back to on the show here.
All right.
Ah, dude. Ah, man.
And there we are.
There we are. Ah, Bullzie. Now we got all three of us here together. Thank goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, but I know what the fuck is up with the Skype and the computer here. It took a while for the. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this damn computer again. I may have to, I guess, update it once more. I actually had to. I have a little total security system in my computer. I had to start using that again. I also have to clean out what's in my recycle bin just as well. I think that may have something to do with it.
Well, you should do that on a regular basis
Yeah,
anyway.
you're right. You're right there. Well, I'm not on my computer almost all the time, unless I am come home from work there, or when I'm doing shows like these at times. So I often forget. So I got to remind myself to do that bullshit there.
Yeah, should do it about once every 4 or 5 days anyway.
Yeah, that's true there. Or as Minnesota Vikings fan told me, do it every time I turn the damn thing on.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Which wouldn't work for me because I leave mine on 24/7 most times.
Ah, I see there. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, so what's up, Bullzie?
Nothing much really. It's just have an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's a new job opportunity.
Oh, wow, nice. What you it was you're going to be being called in to come into work at some place? I guess I take it there.
Well, it's more of a promotion, so
Oh, nice. Yeah, I say go for it, dude. Man, go for it.
yeah. It's just like I apply myself and it just works out eventually.
Well, that's the way it should work. That's good.
That's the greatest thing about living in a red state.
Yep. Same here over here. It's just as well. What state you live in, Bullzie? Was it Florida? I think it was.
I'd say it was Arizona.
Arizona. That's a red
Yeah.
state. Yeah, sweet. You know, at one time, my sister and brother-in-law considered moving us to Arizona, but from what I understand, there's hardly no work there. All the jobs are taken there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that the same case now around in their state there?
Well, I'm not entirely sure.
All right.
Yeah, I would have to look into it some more, but some jobs are shutting down
Wow. Oh
due
shit.
to COVID.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Due to
understand.
COVID.
Oh wow. So, is the COVID running rapidly in that state? I guess.
Not really. Most people in Arizona don't take COVID too seriously. But,
Wow.
there's implementations by the government trying to mandate you have to wear a mask when you go into buildings.
That's true there, yeah. Like at my workplace, you have to, I guess most of the employees at various workplaces, whether it's a supermarket or such and such, they have to wear masks. We have to wear masks to go to work 24/7 while we're on the job there, except we're at lunch period.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to eat through a mask.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's hard to breathe. You can imagine what I go through. I'm in the dairy cooler most of the time there. I come out, I've just got my mask, and my glasses keep fogging up each and every time, man.
Yeah.
And that drives me nuts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Masks are proven not to really work. So it's just like, why make people wear them?
Yeah,
Because it's an effort for the government to control us.
yeah, something like that.
Oops, I got into politics. Sorry.
No, it's
Well,
okay,
here's the
dude.
thing,
But it
you
makes
are right.
that's
He
true.
is right. My take on this is just like this. So you are willing to take demands from government when they're the ones supposed to be serving you?
Yeah. And like I say, it's just a step. There will be more.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
Giving you guys something to look forward to.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of funny. They encourage everybody to. One person's complained about this particular subject here in Texas, but they're encouraging all the women, all the people to wear a mask here, but yet there are still a lot. I don't know. Since they're pro, they say they're pro-life, but I don't know. Something connected between wearing masks and abortion laws here, because I understand Texas here has an anti-abortion law that's going on right now at the moment.
Right.
Actually, I'm curious on the Arizona anti-abortion law
Wow.
because I haven't heard anything about it going along in Arizona. The only thing I hear about is how Mark Kelly doesn't want to be shit on, neither Kirsten Sinema, when they really do nothing.
Yeah, it's true
So it's
there.
just like, why do politicians complain when they get criticized? Is this some sort of narcissistic idea to them? Like,
Most likely they're looking for acceptance. They want to be accepted by the people. They want to be looked on as a god. Blah blah blah.
Well, basically, they think they're always right.
Perhaps that's even be a better excuse there.
yeah, it's just, I don't understand it. I guess it's just mostly social. Okay,
Socialism.
when I think about most Democrats, a lot of them, I mean, like most of them are for socialism, regardless of who they are.
And
Democratic
that's
socialism?
although socialism has been proven to be a false, been proven time and time again that it's never worked.
No, exactly. It may work in other countries like North or South Korea, but
Oh
not here
no,
in the
it
States.
it don't work there.
They don't work there? Oh, wow.
Well, they're doing it, but it's not working. The people are poor as church mice.
That's true there, yeah. So they had the people over there had no choice to rely on government for assistance to get by there.
Right.
I can imagine what goes on in the country of India because God knows how many babies are being born into poverty. This is left and right there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking through the anti-abortion law, at least in Arizona.
Yeah.
It was illegal. I'm just not sure when this happened. Because there was a guy named Government Doug that signed that into law. Anti-abortion, I suppose.
Yes,
So it was like no abortions.
I see.
So I'm not sure I completely agree with it.
No,
But when
there's sometimes that it's
well,
necessary.
I know this about abortions, okay? The infants inside the woman suffer a painful death. The
Yeah.
silent
Yes.
scream, they do that. So more percent of the time, people already know that it's a sign of life if something breathes. So
Right.
this is why people speak for against abortion, because it's just like, okay, you're killing an innocent life because of your fuck up.
Yeah.
So
And
why?
the chances of that kid may grow up to have the cure for cancer or AIDS or COVID-19, that's what they're looking at there. But however, the other side, it takes a lot of money and a lot of patience to raise a child. And most of the time, some of the baby mamas out there don't have their baby daddies to help them out there. Too busy running around doing stupid shit, trying to be thug, trying to be the player, and everything else is just, getting complicated. And a lot of programs out there are making it harder for the mother to get some sort of welfare because too many mothers in the past we have seen, have abused that benefit, for their own other being. It's like taking this money to feed the baby some baby food. They're using that to get their nails done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A lot of abuse has been going on with those kind of programs there. And and let's also not forget, sometime or sooner or later, some of that money may run out for those programs.
yeah,
Yep.
that's true. So I'm not completely against abortion. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, if you're wanting the abortion, why did you I guess, allow yourself without any protection to do whatever you did in the first place? And not only that, you're in control of your own body
Yeah.
unless rape, which
Yeah.
is a different case.
Yes, you had the right to tell the dude to wear a condom or to pull out or whichever there. But I guess the idea, I don't know. I guess women. I guess at the last women. I get. Let me rephrase myself once again. I'm fumbling by my words. Dang gummit. Many times the women out there get so intense into the moment that they forget everything else.
Yeah, some of us are, a lot of them, I mean, that's most people in general, are willing to jump into conclusions based on what they heard.
Yeah.
So okay, let's examine everything before you make a conclusion. Okay, I was thrown this. Cop shot kid or something with a controller,
Yeah.
thought it was a gun. He was fired, okay?
Yeah.
But the investigation didn't find it credible enough to have him arrested.
Hmm.
Problem is, if you're saying cops won't be punished for their, criminal activities like that, that's
Yeah.
just untrue. George Floyd is being punished. Well, not George Floyd, the guy that killed George Floyd is being punished.
Derek Chauvin.
And there's police officers that held other police officers accountable and arrested
Yes.
those officers. You can see some videos of that.
Yeah. There's this one I saw. The cop, doing breaking the law himself. It's just he was about to start his shift. He's called into a room. He's arrested, and he had his uniform cut right off of him. Man, that's got to be degrading towards the that one bad cop was embarrassing to hell to have that happen to him. But then again, when you're a
Yeah,
cop, you're not above the law, kid. And sadly, there are cops out there who try to abuse that.
Hello,
yeah,
Almighty
definitely.
One.
Mighty one, what's
But
up, dude? H Town just as well there. All right, so who do you have on our list? The next arc?
Next one I got is, well, we kind of drop off a little bit because I have mixed feelings about this guy's
Yeah.
Three Doors Down.
Not a big fan of them. Never was a
Get to
big
hear
fan of them.
Kryptonite constantly.
Oh gosh, dude. They were playing their songs like, I'm here without you, baby, and I was like, oh, give me a break. I was never big on that song. Never big on them in general. I guess what they
Yeah,
called it was the mom rock, mopey rock. I guess it was called at that time.
yeah, it's rock your mother would approve of.
Yeah, exactly.
but from Three Doors Down, the only song I actually listened to from them was Kryptonite because I
Mm,
thought that was a really good song.
yeah,
You
interesting
know,
video,
It's
by the
not
way.
bad. It's not a bad song.
Yeah.
In fact, a band I was in a long time ago covered it,
Ah.
which is unusual because we didn't do 80s. We normally did 60s and 70s.
I see there. Yeah.
Next one I have, we'll skip over them and go to Till Tuesday,
Oh.
which I liked that song.
The voices carry there. And by
Yeah,
the way, we all know the story behind that song there. It's about a woman in an abusive relationship being told, hush, hush, don't talk, voices carry, don't let people know what's going on here.
yeah. But that girl had a pretty good voice, I
Yeah,
thought.
Amy Mann, by the way, was who we were referring to there. I guess she got
Yeah,
involved with a singer named Jules Shear later on in the 80s, I guess. And Jules Shear, from what I understand, was an artist there. He had a band called Jules Shear and the Polar Bears. They released a couple album. And I guess when MTV Unplugged started their run on that channel there, he was the original host.
yep,
But then they decided to let him go and let just feature on the artists doing their unplugged stuff there, whether it's Springsteen or it's Stevie Ray Vaughan or Korn or anybody else, or of course Alice in Chains.
right.
Yeah, right.
Next one I got another female singer, Think Cheerleader.
Mm. Tony Basil.
Yep,
Oh yeah, the one that song Ricky. And the what's it? Oh, it's
Mickey, wasn't it?
Mickey. Yeah, that's right, Mickey. I forgot to mix. No, dude, that song was fucking everywhere on MTV. I tell you that right there.
The
And
odd thing is, I read somewhere it's a cover.
oh really?
Mm,
It would be interesting to look that up because I
I'm doing that right
believe
now.
it's.
I'm going to do that right now. The song Mickey by
I
Tony
can,
Basil.
Which is kind of
Tony.
weird because sometimes songs you see, you say, hey, that's a cover?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, believe it or not, the story. I remember. I don't even know about this, Bullzie. You remember the song "What About Love" by Heart from
That was a
1985?
cover, I believe.
Yeah, with the band Toronto recorded that song first, a couple years before Heart got a hold of it.
Okay. Educate me on that one.
Oh yeah, I guess it came out in '82 and '83, and I guess Heart decided to cover that song for their self-titled record there.
Um. Well, I don't listen to much 80s music outside of, well, I guess Johnny Cash. But,
Mm.
I
That's
thought,
going back in the 60s and 70s, too.
Yeah, a great
yeah,
one. The Man in
Yeah.
Black, dude.
I heard a lot of movies, songs actually told a story instead of just, most of it's just kind of just trash now. I don't know how else to put it. None of it really tells a story. It's just,
Pop
man,
news.
yeah, it's blabbery,
It's mostly
agenda pushing.
the oh baby I feel the world in my arms when I hold up my arms around you. Oh baby I feel the chills up my spine when you kiss me like
This
that.
is a
La, 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 la. Give me a break.
There's not a
uh,
lot of storytelling compared to the way it used to be.
Yeah, but a lot of these pop artists are not like that. They don't tell stories anymore. They're like, oh, the baby, let me put you in my arms. Let me dance you around the moonlight. And let me hump you in the ass when you're not looking. Give me a, come on, bro.
oh
Yeah.
no.
Give us a break. And here, by the way, here's something else. We're going back to the song "Mickey" by Tony Basil.
Right.
Apparently, it gained a mixed response from music critics. Some critics praising the radio-friendly nature of the song, while others describing it as the lyrics as obscene.
Really?
And the song was originally performed by the group Racy with the title "Kitty." It was included on their debut studio album, Smash and Grab, from 1979. The original Racy version did not include the famous "Oh Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind," which often Basso added to the Herc version there. It had also been rumored that the song was changed to Mickey because Basso developed a crush on Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees
Oh,
after meeting him on the set of the movie Head, in which she was a choreographer. However, this claim was denied by Basil, who said she didn't know who the hell Dolence was. And then,
Uh,
in August of 2017, Basil filed a multi-claim lawsuit against Razor and Tie Direct, Forever 21, Disney, Viacom, VH1, and South Park, alleging that the defendants had used the song Mickey commercially without a license and damaged her right of publicity, claiming excess of $25,000 in damages. She also filed a lawsuit against AMC on 12 of May 2020 for the unauthorized use of the song as a trailer for the show Preacher. And of course,
no.
California State of Appeals affirmed dismissal of that particular case.
well, you know, you see some lawsuits and it's like, what?
Yeah, it's true there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Next one
What
I
else are we
got.
going on to?
What up?
Well,
What else
next
are we
one,
going on to?
Oh, okay. Oh. Now go
the
ahead,
next,
Ark.
next one I got is an interesting band in a way.
Yes.
The Tubes.
Oh my goodness. White punks on dope, talk to you
Uh,
later. What do you, what do you want from life?
Yeah, the sushi one. I forget the title.
Sushi Girl.
Yeah,
Attack of the
and they were
50
also
foot
in that
woman.
stupid movie.
Which
a
which
San Francisco-based rock band, huh?
Yes, absolutely. They were like one of the punk the singer Fee Waybill. That song "White Punks on Dope" was kind of like a take on the typical rock star, drug addict type of guy. In fact, one of his prime characters he came out was a rock singer named Quaalude, who looked on like he would get up in this on stage. He looked like he was high on something, And I remember Fee Bill brought a Quaalude when they played at the Riverfest, I guess in 2011 or 2010 there at St. Clair, Michigan. I remember seeing them do that there.
Yeah, and they also
You
had a
know,
part in it.
yeah. The only album I know they made was like White Punks on Dope. Like,
Yeah,
well, that's their first album, right?
I believe
I
so. Yeah.
haven't, you know, as much as I do like some punk rock, I just never bothered to listen to them.
Mm.
It's like, and it's a 1975 band, and obviously I was not into old music since I
Hmm.
was like a young guy getting into heavy metal shit
Yeah. Yes.
like Linkin Park, 3 Days Grace. That's more of a punk rock, but but Tombs were like
More like
weird.
new
Na-
metal.
yeah, are they a good band at all?
Well, they had some good songs out there. I will tell you. I know the song "She's a Beauty" was a massive big hit on the
Oh
radio
yeah,
there. And by the way, the two songs "Talk to You Later" and "She's a Beauty" featured lead guitar by Steve Lukather of Toto.
wow,
In fact, if you listen to the background
Oh,
vocals of the chorus of "She's a Beauty," you could hear Toto frontman Bobby Kimball in the background vocals as well.
yeah. Of course, they probably don't want to put on their resume that they were in the movie Xanadu.
Oh yeah, I remember the song. Yeah, the song got some dancing to do. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was back in 1980 there. Bad movie, but good music
yeah.
there.
It's funny that's one of those movies that the movie actually sucked, but the soundtrack was pretty good.
I know. It was said a couple times that has happened very, very rarely when you think about it there.
Hey, Minnesota Vikings fan, how are you?
Hey, what's up, dude? Vikings. I tried to get a hold of you when I got done from work. I was hoping that we was going to do our episode 3 of our drama show there.
The next one I got was a pretty big band, but I'm kind of I like some of their stuff, but I'm not what you'd call a huge fan.
Yeah,
You too.
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
But it's kind of funny that you know, talk about one massive transition.
Yeah,
Apparently, what it was is that towards the end of the 1980s there, apparently what it was is that they were starting to become a human jukebox. They were trying to, people were kind of dogging them for trying to be prophets, protectors, preaching the good word of
right.
this and this issue or that political issue here and there. And I guess what it was is that it was not becoming fun no more. And like I said, they were becoming human jukeboxes. They had to perform the same songs like "With or Without You," "Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For," and I
Right.
guess at the start of the 1990s, they decided to upgrade themselves, make them more unique, make them more updated. That's where they came up with the zoo station ideas for their stage shows there. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
was kick ass when you think about it. A couple times, Bono would order pizza for 1,000 people in the arena that came to see them. And a couple times, they tried to make phone calls to George Bush, H.W. Bush, when he was still in office.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Yeah, exactly. At one point, they said, "You know what? I'll hang it up. I'm going to vote for Bill Clinton."
Oh, that's just a lazy way to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
I
kind of a
I
weird
don't
way to
like
decide.
I don't like ignorant voting at
That's
all.
true. Yeah.
Bill Clinton's pretty much awful. His third wave policies did not work.
Well, Bill
Okay.
Clinton wasn't ever the president. His wife was running the country.
Yeah, it's true. There, his wife was. She basically wore the pants, and she still does.
Not to mention, she was like, I know you've been sleeping with them women, but I'm going to cover it up for you. Like, oh
Oh
my God.
God. I wonder
You
sometime.
know, Bill Clinton, that
I wonder sometimes that those two weren't swingers underneath it all.
Probably.
Oh God, I hate to be the dude that has to bone Hillary
Yeah.
while Bill bones his wife. Said,
Yeah,
oh
I don't care
God,
what my
oh
wife looks like.
God,
She's not Hillary.
oh God, oh God, I gotta bone this chick with the upside down legs and the face like a gorgon.
Oh no, dude. You know, the same people are the ones that were pushing for trannies, even though that's a psychological
Disorder.
problem.
Yep.
Yeah, they were probably into traps, and they were like, you know what? I want an excuse to bone my own sex.
Yo.
I thought that was a man or a woman.
Oh, God. I can imagine what a. Well, I guess if a guy was born with a cock and a cunt, he would have no problem, fucking himself.
Yeah. Well, what do you do for your own pleasure? I fuck myself. I have
So
a
when you
foot
tell
and a dick.
so when you tell them to go fuck himself, they literally mean it.
Yeah.
So do you get yourself
Now, if they
pregnant,
get
ma'am?
themselves pregnant, that's going to be a big problem, obviously.
Okay. Then there's something really wrong with chromosomes there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even think that's possible, but
I don't
maybe it
think
is. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just a little joke I came up with many years back there. Speaking of chromosomes, if it's to say that Bullfrog's still acting like he's top notch number one there, oh, Bullzie's got the hots for me. Bullfrog, you make Medusa the Gorgon look like a sex symbol.
Yes.
I had to throw that in. I was hoping to say that one time. I finally got the chance. Next.
Next one I got is Weezer.
Oh gosh.
They
Oh
had one
God.
song that I kind of enjoyed. The rest of them are kind of like, eh.
I don't think
That
so.
what was that song? That Buddy Holly song or whatever the hell it was?
Oh yeah, that song is called Buddy Holly. They mixed some footage here. They kind of recreated the Happy Days scenario back then.
Yeah, actually, I thought that was kind of a funny video.
It was kind of, when you think about it, kind of like a little homage to that old TV show there.
Yeah, I did like that song for the most part, but rest of them I could take or leave.
But there are other songs. I'm sorry, I just couldn't cut it. The one I couldn't understand was "If you want to destroy my sweater." Give me a break.
Yeah. Next one I got is Wham.
Oh gosh.
I just
Guess
thought I'd
what-
mention them.
Oh my God. You know what? It's kind of, you know what? Guess what song now comes to my mind that they still play at the supermarket that I work at? Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on. It's like, give me.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You remember when George Michael was caught with that other dude at that restroom a couple years back there? The tagline was "Zip me up before you go."
Yeah.
Huh.
It's kind of like,
Oh gosh, I'm sure. I guess it usually takes a long while before people to figure out that they're gay when they can finally expose themselves when it comes out there accidentally. I remember one of the guys from that boy band named Sync. He had to finally come out and say he was gay when one of the magazines out there caught him, going into this gay bar.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got no problem with gay people.
No,
But why do they have to talk the way they talk?
I have no.
Oh,
When they talk like that, oh, sunflower, like that bullshit there, I have no damn clue.
like, okay, I know you're gay, but do you have to emphasize that?
I guess the idea is that they want to prove that I'm a gay, I'm going to be accepted, you're going to accept me as I am. Well, first of all, I don't mind you being gay, but at least be a manly gay, and don't hit up on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous. Okay, I've seen the parodies. I've seen it. It's like, come on. At least act like you have testosterone in your body.
Yeah, please be a man to do something about it, Please be a man and stop being such a homo wad. Stop being such a flamer, okay? If you want
Yeah.
to be a flamer from your gal pals there, okay? Go dress up in your little tutu and your little drag ass, drag queen makeup there. Do it in front of your chick friends, okay? Not to me, okay? Please.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one I got, I think they're more of a 90s, 2000. I don't know. I really don't know much
Mm.
about them other than the one song, Six Nation Army or whatever there
Oh,
was.
White Stripes.
Yeah,
Wasn't big on them either. I guess Meg White, the drummer, she kind of like, stepped out of the spotlight there when they finally called it quits there. I guess Jack White's been involved with a bunch of other projects like the Raccooners or Raccooners or whatever they called there. He plays
yeah.
drums with a band called the Dead Weather there. And for
Well,
any of
to me,
this,
they weren't that big a deal. But
it wasn't to me. It's just like, here's the problem of the rock and roll at the round. And this is in the 2000s. It was them bands like the Hives, the Strokes, trying to sound like 60s rock, garage rock kind of stuff. There, this is the new thing. And it's like, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm sorry. I'm sticking with my V&V Nation. I'm sticking with my Sabbath there. I'm sticking with old Priest records here. I'm sticking with stuff like Sea Wolf and Skitty Puppy. Thank you very much there.
yeah,
But still, and hear all these songs. They'll be done on all these TV shows, these reality shows that MTV was showing at the time, whether it's The Real World or Road Rules or this competition or that competition. Give us a break.
yep. And then the last one,
Mm-hmm.
Zager and Evans,
Zager and Evans. Yeah, this
in
is
the year 2525.
oh wow, and that came out in 19. What was it? The 60s or 70s?
No,
Oh.
it was 70s or 80s.
I'm thinking.
Wasn't the
Wow.
60s.
I think it may have been in the set. I think it been in the year 25. Let me look that up for you guys here. Give me
Look, I honestly don't know. I always put them in the 80s. I have no idea, to be honest.
okay. Okay, year 25, 25. Here we go. Should be coming up. Wait a minute here. I just fucked up. It's got. There we go. Should be okay here.
I'm sorry
Okay.
I'm coming in and out, but I'm dealing with animals. This
Oh,
is like,
okay.
oh
It's
my.
okay. It's okay there. Let's see here. It should be the Wikipedia. It came out in 1969.
Really?
Yes, it did. Yes, I remember
That
hearing about
shocks me because it does not sound 60s or 70s.
it. The funny thing is, a lot of recordings out there from those eras, whether it's from the 70s or 60s, or often sound like they're based in the future. Like, for instance, an album by Jean-Michel Jarre, who is the
Jean Michael, yeah,
yeah, thank you.
Oxygen.
Oxygen, yes. The people are saying that album, sounds like it was made in this day and age, even though it came out in, guess, in the 1980s there.
Yeah, that whole album is great.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that because I heard a lot of complimentary reviews about that record there. Definitely.
Yeah, it's very spacey,
Yeah,
but it's good.
yeah, I'm there. Now the song basically in the year 2525 opens with an introduction verse that explained that if mankind had survived to that point, they would be witnessing the events of that song. The following verses pick it up the story of 1.010 year intervals from
Yeah,
35, 35 to 65, 65 in each succeeding millennium. And I have to look it up on Wikipedia because I can't really go into the whole detail here because it would take too much of the program here. Because we still got some
yeah, but
wrestling stuff to
I'm
talk
sitting
about.
here, I'm still amazed that came out in 69, 70.
Yeah,
Because I honestly, it just sounds 80s to me.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is definitely. And you know what? But you know what? That's the beauty of, like I said, that's the beauty of these recordings. They sound like they're kind of pioneering when you think about it. The instrumental Popcorn, that was an electronic song, and that came out in the same year.
Yeah,
And of course, a lot of songs back then, consider to be pioneering. I mean, like the song "I Feel Love" by Donna Summer, that had a drum machine and synthesizer. That kind of like gave paved way for the bands like the Human League, Heaven 17, years on down the line.
Right.
Yeah, and of course Kraftwerk as well. Well, Kraftwerk was already doing it prior to Donna Summer.
Yeah. Autobahn. That
Uh, the
it was
Man Machine.
great. It was great if you could get a radio station to play that whole damn thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because back then, radio stations like, we're not touching this. We're playing what's trending right now, the hits.
Well, not only that, is on the album it's 19 minutes long.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I remember my best friend Dennis playing that whole track for me one time while we was in the car together. And of course, we cannot forget Trans Europe Express, which later became, sampled for Planet Rock by Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force.
Yeah, electronic music's interesting, I
It
think.
is. Absolutely there. It's even more interesting when you're able to create different sounds here and there,
Yeah,
especially with the synthesizers that they had at that time there. Because now
yep,
with all the digital stuff they have out there, they're able to make the sounds hear more. Or of course, we cannot forget the sampler. Many
right.
industrial bands in the 1980s, including Frontline Assembly, Skinny Puppy, Front 242, or excuse me, Front Toot for Toot, were able to use samplers on their albums and their songs. There, like Animal, Headhunter, you know, um, Don't Crash, Dig It,
Yeah.
Birds with Water, all those tracks by those bands there.
That semi concludes the 80s for the most part.
And 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s, for the most part there,
So the
folks.
next show,
Yeah.
we're going to go backwards a little bit
All right.
and do prog.
All right.
And we'll do some individual bands first. I think we'll start with King Crimson since they were one of the pioneers.
Yeah, yeah. One of the pioneers, And of course, we also got to include, Yes, the early Genesis.
Oh, we'll
And,
do them.
oh,
But
yeah.
I'm talking about, we'll probably do an hour on King Crimson.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because that was one of the bands I was really, really into back in my teen years there, in the early 80s there. Albums like Lark's Tongue's Aspect, Starless and Bible Black, the first album, Lizard, In the Wake of Bullzie. And of course, they kind of like a move from that when they came back in '81 with Adrian Belew and Tony Levin and Bill Bruford. They kind of like modeled themselves in towards the new wave era, along with the Talking Heads and Laurie Anderson there.
Yeah, but they still did the prog
Yeah,
thing.
go on.
Yep. Yes. Bullzie, you said?
Yeah, I'm here. I heard
Yeah.
that King Crimson
Yeah,
has
definitely.
inspired a lot of progressive music.
Oh yeah,
throughout the
absolutely.
years.
Yeah, I
Well,
like.
we'll start with that next time we do this, which I guess is Thursday, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There, the Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. There, I got to remind everybody ahead of time. There. So,
Yeah.
so
But we'll break it off with this and go to the other subject.
pro wrestling. Well, we definitely got to talk about pro wrestling because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. And first, let's start with the All Out pay-per-view from last night. I heard a lot of great praise. People saying professional wrestling is back. AEW is on top of the world right now. 4 debuts.
Yeah, but they're still not where they used to be.
Who, AEW?
No, wrestling is back. It's not. It never went away. It's just never been what it used to be.
And I guess, so for I understand, many people would agree with that. They're saying that AEW is trying to make the pro wrestling up to that next level, up to that point once again there. And judging from the response of the 4 debuts in last night's All Out pay-per-view that AEW did, whether it's Bryan Danielson, the former Bryan Daniel, CM Punk making his debut a couple weeks back in Chi-Town, his hometown there, to a massive ass pop that they had. Massive pop. I mean, I tweeted it out. CM Punk owned that whole damn weekend. And of course, the following night, they were talking about, the comebacks of Brock Lesnar, the comebacks of Becky Lynch, the comeback of John Cena for the WWE pay-per-view a couple nights later on. But I'm sorry, we're not really impressed by those cats there. We kind of figured, they were going to pull something out of the hat to make a surprise here and there. I'm surprised Brock Lesnar didn't shave and cut his hair there because he let his hair grow out a little bit there.
But I do like the Viking look to him.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. I hope it'd be interesting if he goes off on Paul Heyman for choosing Roman Reigns over him. Because that was talked about a possible storyline about that. I guess they were going to turn him babyface there against Roman Reigns there. Possibly beat Reigns and take back the Universal Championship.
Which I guess could work. It's just that people are already tired of Brock Lesnar, so it's just like,
I know. I'm
Yeah.
tired. I know Tommy can't stand him, and I'm tired of hearing about him myself. It's like Brock this, Brock that, Brock Lesnar. I like, yeah, but the guy is a part-timer. Part-timer. If you're going to be a champion, if you're going to be the Universal Champion, you at least got to be there almost all the time at all the events. I'm like, earn your work, earn your piece, earn your own degree, get out there and work a few nights a week, not just 8 appearances per year or something like that, and get paid all this damn money.
I
Yeah.
haven't really followed the wrestling all that close the last 3 or 4 years, but from what I understand and what I see, turning Roman Reigns heel worked fantastically.
Yeah, if I understand,
Apparently
yeah,
It did.
it's done some good things for him.
yeah. And by the way, Ark, you got to put in the link you sent me in this Gmail about that fight in the concession stands. You got to definitely put it in the Skype chat for Bullzie to check out sometime there.
Yeah, it's it's a brutal. Well, I say brutal, but I don't mean
Bloody
real.
brutal, but there was a lot of damage done to the concession stands. Needless to say, there.
Okay. So what's up with it?
Well, basically, I guess what year is it? During the early '80s, I guess it was.
Yeah, it was the early '80s. It was Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee against Farrell, and I can't remember the other guy's name,
Yeah.
for the tag team championships.
Yes, and the
And
fight.
Farrell and the other guy cheated to win, and they were beating that, and they started fighting. The show was supposedly going off the air.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're in the concession stand, breaking jars of mustard over their heads, ketchup. It's interesting
Very,
to watch.
very messy. Kind of reminiscent of the supermarket fight between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Booker T in 2002.
That does seem like a very, very good work.
It was, yeah.
Oh, it was that to me. That's when wrestling was really good, because you watched it and it was like, is this a real? But you knew it wasn't. But still,
But still,
I
it
mean,
was
there's a
good
lot
to
to
watch.
it.
It was like a violent soap opera.
yeah.
It's like
And then-
it was the action was personified, top notch back then.
Yeah.
And for tag
None
team
of that
champion.
slap in the knee. None of that slap in the knees or thigh stuff as you went with your fist, 3 feet away from the guy.
Yeah.
A lot of times they connected. I mean, they might have connected softly, but they definitely hit each other.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's true there. And back then,
Yeah.
blading was, and much credit to AEW for allowing this to go on in their roster, the blading. Like you
Yeah.
remember how bloodied up Dustin Rhodes was when he did that match against his younger brother Cody, and that said when the old Cody gets on the mic saying, "We've been offered this spot there, but I don't need a tag team partner. I need my older brother." And it goes so those two embraced one another there. It was a touching moment there. And let's not forget the blood match between Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker. They both was all bloodied up there, and I guess People were comparing her to Mick Foley with the bloody stuff that he did in the ring there. But yet, we have yet to see Dr. Britt Baker lose half of her ear.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
the big thing with Mick Foley that I remember is that Hell in the Cell with the Undertaker, where he
Oh
was
my gosh, that was what
thrown off the top onto the table and basically was knocked out.
Yep, and what his
And
teeth went
then,
up his nose.
yeah, in fact, when they went back up and he went through the cage,
Yep.
that was unexpected.
Hmm.
They didn't expect that to happen. The cage just broke.
I know. Yes, I remember seeing clips of that. Like
Undertaker
that.
thought he killed him.
Oh my goodness! I bet the Undertaker was like very apologetic after all that, man. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't." He was probably worried about it. He didn't want to hurt the guy, but then again, if I understand, Foley told him to throw him off the cage there.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, the Hell in a Cell match between Mick Foley and Undertaker was probably the most legendary match
Yeah,
in
it's true
modern
there.
wrestling
Yeah,
ever.
it was definitely.
It was
Yeah, they
definitely
went
one
in
of the.
there.
They went in there top notch, ready to set to destroy, and they absolutely did. Bottom line, go.
Yeah, that's the best way to tell them a story.
Yep. And the
In a Hell
reason,
in a Cell.
and I was going to bring this up there since we now last week, as we know, we lost Shannon Spreel, aka Daphne. She was 46 years old. Apparently what it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But
Wow.
yeah, if I know I'm not sure if Arg knew about this, but a few days earlier that week, she was on Instagram and she was crying. She was in tears. She is saying things like, "Do you not understand that I am all alone? Do you not understand that?" And she was, I'm saying, I'm sorry. And she did state that she wanted her brain to go to Boston for research at the CTE center there, I guess, in one of the universities in that city there. And apparently, everyone in the wrestling community, from Mick Foley to Sue Young to everybody, was tweeting out, saying your prayers for Daphne. Hope she's okay there. Mick Foley tweeted out he tried to contact her, but all he got was voicemail. And on Thursday, when I got home from work, I found out that was gone. She was officially dead at age 46, and we all knew it was suicide. We all knew that. And apparently, for I understand, it was mental health issues. But however, we have seen that develop with many of the legends of the square circle. I mean, like Perry Saturn, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, and of course the big one that made all the headlines that brought this whole thing into the spotlight, Chris Benoit.
Right.
I mean, when you think about it, you got to remember, you're using your head for a lot of things. They're taking chair shots, using your headbutt to slamming on the against some sort of brick wall, this and that here, and all of a sudden, you got to remember, you're using your head for a headbutting your opponent there. Now, I don't know if that's real or not there, but you got to remember, taking chair shots to the head can have some damage effect on you in the long run there.
Right.
Yeah. Chris Benoit. I'm not entirely sure, but pretty sure it was kind of
he used to have that move off the top where he used his head.
Yep. Absolutely.
I forget what they called it, but I mean that was pretty much constant.
It was, yeah, absolutely there. And you got to remember, your bodies take a massive beating when you're in that square circle there. You remember, you're landing on your backs, you're landing on your hips, your knees, your elbows there, And I don't know what kind of material goes into the canvas up there, but I understand if it's true or not, they have some sort of spring underneath the canvas there, if it's true or not. But I think it's just hard wood, if I'm covered with a bunch of, padding, I guess. So take it there.
Yep.
Yeah, and they call it padding, but it's light to say the least.
Yeah, light padding there, because it's hard to move on with its hard with its thick pattering on there. I remember the WWF when it was still called that had a lot of
Yeah.
patterns on the around on outside the ring where everyone, the managers and this person walked around because a lot of wrestlers will be thrown out in the ring and hitting their heads on the hard concrete there. And a lot of them were even slammed onto the hard concrete as well, even
Oh yeah.
DDT'd, like Jake Roberts did to Ricky Steamboat at one time there. I mean, you got to
No, that
remember, and you also got to keep in mind when you're doing the stuff like the RKO that Randy Orton does, you using putting your body into a it's the idea of that move is supposed to be to lam somebody's head against the canvas there, but you're putting your back and your weight onto that canvas just as well there.
yeah. Well, it's kind of similar to
The Stone Cold
thing.
Stunner.
Well, no, I was thinking more like Diamond Dallas Page, that
Diamond Cutter.
his Diamond Cutter, and
Yes.
then Jake the Snake Roberts did
With
the
his
DDT.
DDT, yes. And let's also not forget the Scorpion Death Drop that Sting often used to do.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah.
I guess now with I guess the whole wrestling community right now is now being they're letting a lot of people know that I guess I guess some traditionalists like Jim Cornette are basically they're pissed off that the business was exposed, kayfabe was broken, but at the same time it also had to be exposed because too many believed that it was too real. People were
Yeah,
believing that that there actually were taking bumps. And too many times we have seen kids out there try to imitate what the wrestlers were doing. You may remember, I don't know if it still goes on today, but we still have, there was lots of backyard wrestling matches going on.
yeah,
And all the pro rows were like, no, don't do this. Don't try this at home. Don't do this with here and there because you could get serious injury. You could injure yourself really bad. I'm like, and they're saying, and some of these backyard wrestlers like, well, this is how Hogan started out. This is how Savage started out. Well, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think Hulk Hogan started out with the NAWA using a pizza cutter.
no.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think he was actually in another promotion before AWA.
Yeah, and this is before he joined the WWF, as it was called at that time there, before it
Right.
became the WWF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. I don't remember what promotion. He might have been in, not Mid South, but one of those down there
Hmm.
for a little while. As his real name, Terry
Terry
Bollier.
Bollea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then he
he
went
was
to
using the
AWA.
name. Actually, reminds me, he was using the name Terry Boulder. That may have been what you were
Yeah,
talking to. Yes, he was using cutting a
yeah,
promo with the guy Ed Leslie, who would later be Bruce Beefcake, as his brother Eddie Boulder there.
yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting when you look back on some of this stuff to see how some of these people started.
Yeah, absolutely. There, Wade Ferris would later. He was involved with Georgia Championship Wrestling with Jimmy Hart's first family, and later on he would become the Honky Tonk Man in the WWF.
Right, right.
Yeah,
But a
Glenn
good
Jacob.
example.
No, go ahead.
Yep.
Oh,
Uh,
I was going to say Glenn Jacobs before he became Kane, the Big Red Machine. He was Dr. Isaac Yankem. He was also the
Right.
fake Diesel, and he was involved with the no, excuse me, the USWA as Doomsday for quite a while there.
Right,
So,
right. Well, a lot of those guys, like Steve Austin, actually was in WCW for a while,
yeah,
or Mid
remember,
South. One of
absolutely,
those was
Stunning Steve Austin. That was his original gimmick. He had blonde hair and all that good stuff. He had Genie as his valet there. And then all of a sudden, he got booted out by
that.
Eric Bischoff, and he later joined the WWF, first as the Ringmaster, terrible gimmick. Then later became Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he cuts that promo in King of the Ring And next thing you know, boom, Austin 316 is born.
Yeah, and before that, he actually got his start in WCCW
Interesting. World
in
class
Dallas.
championship wrestling.
Yeah,
Because he
in the
is a
Dallas
native
area.
Texan.
Yeah, he was. I think he was Steve Williams then,
Yeah, he was
but
Steve. That's his
obviously when
real
he moved,
name.
he had to
Yes.
change his name because of Dr. Death.
Yes, that was. Dr. Death Steve Williams, rest in peace there. Another legend who has departed from us years
Yeah,
before there.
because I remember when Steve Williams broke in that he started. He was supposedly trained by Chris Adams,
Mm.
and he turned on Chris Adams, and they had a pretty big feud going for a while because I
Uh,
guess Williams ended up with Adams' wife, and Adams ended up with Williams. Whatever,
yeah.
you know,
White Swamp.
most manufactured anyway.
Yeah, absolutely there.
But that went on for a while, and then he moved to WCW.
Yeah, that's true there. And there is a
It's kind of
list.
interesting. Go ahead.
Now, a dude named Real Mysterious, replied to one of my chat about the Daphne situation. There were other suicides within the pro wrestling world. We had Too Sexy Brian Christopher, a.k.a. Brian Christopher Lawler, Jerry the King's son
Right.
there. You know, we also had Chris Canyon, who back in WCW was involved with Raven's Flock. Apparently, at the time, he was struggling with addiction issues and his own sexuality. Apparently, he was gay, and
Yeah.
he was trying to cope with that. Apparently, his
Yeah, and
career
there's a
was
female wrestler that I'm trying to remember what her name was.
Hana, Hana something there.
No,
Because I'm thinking, because this happened last year. Apparently, what it was,
well, this one was several years back, but apparently she was supposedly overseas and raped, and
yeah.
nobody believed her.
Oh wow.
And she came back in the States, and God, I wish I could remember her name.
Hmm. Huh. I'm not
But
too
she
sure.
eventually ended up killing herself.
Wow, man.
And didn't China do the same?
Well, I don't know of China. Well, China, Joni Lawler, she had a lot of addiction issues going on for
Right.
the past how many years there. Apparently, what it was is that when she got dumped by Triple H so he can marry Stephanie, she was never the same.
Right.
She was let go from the WWF. They decided not to renew her contract, such and such, and I guess she was very depressed about the whole situation there.
Yeah, they pretty much dumped on her, but
They did absolutely. And it got to the point where she had to resort to doing either a couple of reality shows and adult movies to support herself.
yeah, yeah. Back
And
to history a little bit here.
yeah,
Have you ever heard of a tag team called the Freedom Fighters?
I think I have. I'm not too sure. It kind of sounds, somewhat familiar,
Well,
but you might have to
basically,
enlighten me.
I think they were in Mid South Wrestling,
Mm,
is where they broke in.
yes.
A couple of new guys. One of them was named Jim Hellwig,
Oh yeah.
and the other one was named Steve Borden.
Yeah. We know what they would become there. And what I'm interested
Yeah,
to
and
see.
basically
Yep.
they did the Freedom Fighters thing for about 4 months, 5 months, and then suddenly Eddie Gilbert took them, and they became the Blade
I
Runners,
remember
and
seeing
that's where they
that
started
picture.
with the
Ultimate Warrior
they
and
started
Sting.
with the well, when they were in Blade Runners, it was Sting and Rock.
Ah. And Steve Borden took the Sting name along with him when he joined WCW or actually the NWA before it became the
Right,
WCW
and
back in
then
the
into
80s.
WCW, and he pretty much stayed Sting his whole career so far.
Absolutely, and he's still known for that. And I think probably the best moment for Sting was when he became the Crow Sting.
Yeah,
That was probably one of his biggest, best gimmicks. Which, by the way, was started by Scott Hall. That was Scott Hall
yeah,
apparently came up with the idea. Apparently, some sort of the angle says that a fake Sting comes in and attacks his partners and some War Games event there that WCW was having. The rest of the Flair, The rest of the Horsemen, Luger, all the other guys turned against Sting, thinking that he turncoated them. Sting's like saying, "That's not me. That's somebody else." So we don't believe you. So the real Sting is like, screw you guys. I'm gonna do things my way. And then a couple of weeks later, he emerges as the Crow Sting, and that gimmick would later become part of his persona ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Hellwig, after he left, he went to WCCW
Mm-hmm.
and became the Dingo Warrior.
Yeah.
He did that for a
Oh.
couple of years, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
Interesting.
And then he left them and went to WWF and became, as you know, the Ultimate Warrior.
Yep. Absolutely. Back then, yeah. You said a Dingo Warrior, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember seeing that he had that mustache going on as well. If it's to
Yeah,
say,
and he,
if it's to say that the Ultimate Warrior was kind of like the mighty Thor of the WWF, when you think about it, there, all he needed now was
yeah,
that massive hammer.
yeah.
I'm looking up that Japanese female wrestler. Her name is Hana Kimura. Now, it was in the May of 2020. She posted some self-harm images on her Twitter and Instagram while sharing some of the hate comments that she was getting. And apparently what it was is that
Yeah.
she was the daughter of a woman named Kyoko Kimura, who was also a professional wrestler. Before she was 1 year old, she separated from her father. With the identity of Hana, biological father, not publicly being known, Kyoko was mentioned and introduced that she is an Indonesian national because of this, and Hana was referred to as an Indonesian Japanese, and she was
Oh,
bullied as a child because of her mixed ethnic race. And apparently, what it was is that there were. I guess what it was is that here's something else here. To go to this, here's more details on this case here. 3 days later, that the cause of the death was hydrogen sulfide ingestion, and there was ruled a suicide there. And now, December 2020, the police announced that they have arrested a man in his mid-20s for cyberbullying. Now, the man who resides in Osaka Prefecture, I think it's called there. If it's pronounced a different way, feel free to let me know. Admitted to the allegations and was quoted by the police as saying he couldn't forgive Kimura's attitude on the program. On March 2021, the Tokyo prosecutor's office indicted the Ahsoka man, for online abuse directed at Hana, but wasn't obliged to face trial under the indictment that is often the case for relatively minor offenses in Japan. He was issued an order of 9,000 yen, which is $80 in U.S. terms, which prompted concerns for that the punishment was too legit. Now, Hana Kimura's mother, Kyoko, had filed a lawsuit seeking more than $20,000 in damages from the guy. So basically, it was cyberbullying that took Hana Kimura's life there, which is often the common within regular people. It's boys or girls, whether it's girl with self-esteem issues or either they're gay or whichever. We've seen this happen many times. People get behind a keyboard, come up with a different name, different accounts, and next thing you know, boom, they go after this one person for no reason, or whichever reason they see fit, causing that person to self-harm themselves.
Yeah. I think that's just. I think a lot of that has to do with depression.
Yeah.
People not being able to get over themselves too much. So it's just like, oh.
And Almighty One is in my chat saying her name was Ashley. That's suicide. Ashley. I think it's Ashley Massino, I think it was there. She was with the WWF for a couple years there. I remember hearing about it there. Let me
oh,
look
that
her.
was it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ashley.
Ashley, yes. thank you there, Almighty One, for the info there. We kind of slipped there.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember her name, but I knew about the
Macero, yes, that was her name there, and
Yeah, but
she go
well,
ahead.
wait, are we talking about? You still talking? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Apparently, what it was that
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I think we all can relate to suicide. And it's just that I think it just depends on how you handle certain situations. Some
Yeah,
people
don't really have
just can't
that.
handle. Yeah,
well,
some
the Von
people.
Erich family had had a few of
Yeah,
those.
three of them, I understand, including the Texas tornado himself, Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah, it kind of started when David Von Erich was in Japan, and he died of some kind of a stomach, whatever, or that's the official story anyway.
Stomach issues.
Yeah, some kind of, I'm not real sure, but they blamed it on that.
Mm.
And then after that, let's see who was the next one.
Mm.
I think Mike came next. And
Wow.
Mike, to be kind, was not a good promo, was not a good wrestler,
Uh,
but he was a Von Erich, and so they had to make him look good.
yeah, they do that a lot
And
of
I
times.
guess he got a staph infection that
Wow.
he had a lot of trouble fighting, and finally he just ended it all.
Wow.
And then you had, I don't remember whether Chris came up before him or Kerry.
Mm.
I think Chris came next,
Wow.
and that he was just a kid. He was only 21.
Holy cow. He's not even close to 25 yet, and he ends up offing himself.
And then you had Kerry, who was dealing with lots of issues. He's about to go to jail for drugs,
Wow.
and he was involved in a severe motorcycle accident that a lot of people don't know, that he lost a foot
Oh
and
wow.
was wrestling with a
Prosthetic.
boot that made it look like he had a foot.
Wow.
No,
The only
it's
one
just
left in
that.
that bunch, and I think he's still alive, is Kevin.
And is
It
he an
seems like
active Marine? Is he active,
yeah.
still active in the ring, I guess, or did he retire?
Oh, I don't think so. I think he retired a long time ago.
Oh yeah, probably got out of this before I'd be next, I guess.
Yeah. But of the
Yeah.
bunch, he kind of had the most common sense and was actually good at what he was doing. He just didn't have the build of a Kerry Von Erich or a David Von Erich.
Yeah. Guess what didn't live up to their expectations, that I guess that bummed him out and everybody else in the family out there.
Well, Kevin actually was built good, but not massive like Kerry and David. He was above average, but not bulky.
I I'm looking up on Ashley Marie Massero. You know, she died, of course, in 2019. She was a reality TV contestant. She was a television
Right.
host, model, and radio personality at times. And of course, she was also known for her appearance on Survivor China. Now, she made her debut in the WWE in the 2005 after winning what is called the Diva Search. She was
Right.
incorporated into the Raw brand, where she made her first wrestling feud against Vince's Devils, which was a villainous female stable. Aligned herself with Trish Stratus to defeat the stable there. Now, with Stratus, she was able to involve with another feud with the then debuting Mickey James, who we now know is married to Nick Aldis, the now former
Right.
NWA World Champion there, who was obsessed with Stratus and jealous of her friendship between the two, attacking and causing her to lose matches. Massaro was later drafted to SmackDown and became the valet for the WWE Tag Team Champions, Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Her most profiled matches were a WWE Women's Championship match against Melina at WrestleMania 23 and a Playboy Bunny Mania Lumberjack match at another WrestleMania years afterwards.
Yeah, there's a Playboy spread running around with
Yeah, I
her.
heard about it. Yes, yeah, that was in April 2007. She also made appearances on TV, music videos, and she spent the last 2 years of her life working as a radio DJ known as 94.3 The Shark.
This is just basically a front row seat for me to learn.
Yeah, absolutely, here.
Oh
Hey,
boy, I can go back into the '60s in wrestling.
Yeah. Now, on May 15, 2019, Mas- Massero finished replying to fan mail, but did not show up for work at the radio station WWSK-FM later that night, prompting another DJ to fill in for her. At about 5:23 a.m. the next morning, paramedics responded to a rescue call and discovered Massero unresponsive at her home in Smithtown, New York. When he arrived at the hospital, she was pronounced dead 10 days before her 40th birthday. On May 19th, at the Money at the Bank pay-per-view event, they paid tribute, the WWE did, by her life and career by projecting a graphic of her and the start of the show. Visitation for with her was held that day and next at the Branch Funeral Home in Smithtown. She was buried at the St. James Church Cemetery in St. James, New York. Now, it was ruled a suicide. Other outlets, including ugh, take your time, Earl, CNN and The Nation, did not rule that a suicide. And the Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office did not release an official cause of death, citing a New York State privacy law that allows withholding information that, quote unquote, would constitute an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy, end of quote. And she was supposed to take part in a suicide prevention music video by her co-worker at this radio station, Brian Orlando, who had recorded the song with Brandon B. Brown, Vinny Dombrowski for the band Sponge, and a dude named Kevin Martin. I know that's Kevin Martin from the band Candlebox. Following her death, Orlando scrapped plans to release the video, and with her family's blessing, it was released in 2020, July of last year.
Hmm.
wow,
Yeah,
that's it.
it
That's
is.
some interesting stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was just one person, wasn't it? Right? Or is it
Yeah.
multiple?
Well, she was one of the many who had taken her own lives, along with the Von Erichs and Chris Canyon, and of course Daphne Ugger as well.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Chris Benoit.
Yeah,
yeah,
Chris.
that's why I say a lot of people can relate to suicide.
Yeah.
Because at one point in our lives, we felt the same way.
Yeah,
Sometimes we may feel that way right now. We have to see that there's more to life than just what we experience.
that's true.
Some people think the moment we live is bad and just sucks. Well, don't worry about what just happened.
I guess
So.
I guess the idea is that the world would be better off without me, another loser here. But you got to realize that there are people out there who still care and feel that that person up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my philosophy is I'm going to wait until my time has come and go with it when it goes there. I'm not going to cut out early. Don't plan on it anyway. I mean that.
Yeah, that's true. But there's so much you can go off of. Always remember the past, but don't dwell on it. Think of the future, but don't predict it. Just live in the present. Just live in the present.
Yes, concentrate on right now and the future. Don't go back to the past because the past ain't going to lead nowhere. Too many
Yeah.
people get the
Right.
idea that they go back in the past because it's somehow, I guess somehow, I guess we're told that the past was better. The past was made us what we are today. You know that we can't let go of the past because unless we are get this score settled, there we're deemed a coward. You know I spoke about this many times in my vlogs. And I guess what it
Yeah.
was is that, you can't live in the past. You can't. I mean, that's going to
Yeah.
hold you. You're basically holding yourself back,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because and people got to realize that, especially
And it's,
especially the ones who have hold the bitterest of grudges.
yeah. And people that focus on the past too much only just kind of live on insanity.
Yeah,
And as for the people that think of the future are kind of expecting too much. So it's just like you can't, it just gets nowhere.
yeah,
But I do, like I said, you don't forget the past. And yeah, think of the future, but don't expect the way you want it to turn out. It's just,
yeah.
it's stupid and pointless. But
That's
I
true
get
there.
why people would feel suicidal. I'm worth nothing. I can't do this. Well, here's one thing. Don't don't expect so much from something. It's you're either A, expecting too much or living in something that you've already lived through. So
Right.
why do
That's
you
yeah.
why do you continue your own insanity? So it's just it hurts you only.
Yeah, and I'm sure if we tried, we could come up with a list of a few more that committed suicide that we've forgotten about or
Well,
Whether
it
it's
isn't
rock
kind of
just
stars or
forgotten.
wrestlers.
wrestlers or movie actors or whichever there,
Yeah.
It isn't just the pro wrestlers.
it's
It's
Right.
everywhere.
many
Yeah,
people. Like, this is why I say it's very.
girlfriends, husbands, wives, boyfriends, aunts or uncles.
And things like that. And that's their choice. And you know what? I respect that in a way, but I just don't respect once you start a family and you hate your life for it. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. So it's just
Right.
why? That's something I just don't respect.
Because you're basically
Unless,
shitting on your kids and your wife and everybody else around you.
yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
you know, I,
you remember when Courtney Love was on the loudspeaker after her husband Kurt Cobain offed himself. She was reading this suicide note, and she was in tears when she was adding her own stuff into it in between there, the words that she was reading. She was like, at one point she said, "Well, why didn't you stay, Kurt? Why didn't you stay?"
yeah.
Which
And this
makes
is why you should, people people with families should at least be able to maintain their own mental health. Because guess what? Family makes you miserable. So
yeah.
if you can't handle it, why the fuck did you even attempt to act like a fool?
I guess the idea they gotta follow that pattern. Have a happy family, have a wife, kids, and all that stuff. Bring on them, bring do your part in society here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Some people like me may just choose to be single. You know what? I have a potential girlfriend. I might want to live past 30, just maybe. Because you know what? A nice life with this woman might feel nice. At the same time, I like being single. So,
Right.
That's true. Me, I'm staying single myself for how many years because of all the screw jobs I got from this relationship and that relationship. And I'm working on right now, and there are a lot of things I want to fulfill. I like to go back downtown to Houston to get in my own car there. Hang out on my this spot, that spot there. I want to go back here. I was hoping sometime, to ride my bike around the whole H Town area, but however, the problem is, I never had seemed to find the right time to do it because my sister has a car here when just at a certain time of the day, and my nephew lives far away there. You know, so when I get a car of my own, hopefully, which will be pretty soon, I'll be able to head down to H Town during the some afternoon and check it out in the full details instead of going to this club or going to that concert venue here there.
Right.
You know, wow, yeah. I got lots of things to do here. I still got money to make. I still got, things to do. I'm hoping to find me a new relationship pretty soon. But the thing is, the person I'm looking for, she would have to be in the same interests and likes and dislikes that I'm into. You know, I still haven't found that yet, but I'm not going to be desperate trying to find that because that's going to
Right.
lead into trouble there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't add more to that, but I think enough was said from my side
Yes.
because my knowledge is limited.
Right. So, so I think
Well,
there's.
another.
Go ahead,
Go
Ark.
ahead.
No, go ahead, Ark.
I was just going to pop back into the wrestling.
Yeah.
Another link I sent you was a famous thing between Ted DiBiase and Ric Flair
Yes, I
in
remember
Mid
seeing that.
South.
Yes, I remember seeing that as well. That was before he became the $1 million man with the WWF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I'm going to kind of tell Bullzie.
Yeah.
Uh, Ted DiBiase had, I guess, somehow got a match with Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, which at that point Ric Flair had. And a former friend of his, Dick Murdoch,
Captain Redneck.
was telling, yeah, kind of going there and telling him, you need to get away from here. You're a young guy. It's my turn, and I'll take the shot. And DiBiase said, no, I earned the shot and I want it. And Murdoch threw one of the best sucker punches I think I've ever seen.
Yep.
And took him down and
And
basically pummeled him about, threw him into a ring post and cut him pretty big on that forehead.
yep.
I mean, he was bleeding all over the
All
place.
over the place. Yeah. Something that the WWE will not allow today.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And basically, they ended up having one little bit where Cowboy Bill Watts was back there saying, well, DiBiase's being worked on and they don't think he should wrestle, but he says, hey, I had a shot. I'm going to take it. I'm going to wrestle. And so they basically put a pressure bandage on, wrapped his head and all that stuff, and sent him on out there, or he went on out there. And he was dazed and, he'd lost a lot of blood and all. That was the basic storyline. And, of course, he ended up losing the match because he just ended up losing the match.
Because
and Murdoch attacked him again.
Wow.
And laid him out with a brainbuster on the concrete, which brainbuster is a move you can't even do nowadays.
Yeah, no.
You know what? Yeah, that sounds like a interesting storyline. I just wouldn't have Murdoch attack Ted DiBiase again. I would have instead Ted DiBiase have his retribution attack after losing his match. Attack Murdoch with some brace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
what I would have done. Like, you screwed me over attacking me, so I'm gonna have some payback. And then you got a blood feud going. That would have been epic.
Yeah, Earl, you need to send him that I sent you.
The Gmail there.
Well, both of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna send. You know what? I gotta find them and link them and definitely send. Well, my Gmail mail is on my phone there, so I'm gonna later on when we're done tonight. I'll definitely send it in Bullzie's Skype chat there, and definitely send
They're
it
kind
him
of
directly.
interesting to see. You,
Yeah.
I think you'd enjoy them.
Yeah. I'm looking right now
An
for
angle
you.
that I watched way back, and I want to say it was the mid to late 60s. It was amusing to me at the time. Was there's a couple of wrestlers. One of them was named Joe Scarpa, who later became Chief Joel Youngblood, and Mike Padusis, which was a former NFL star. And they were having one of those 2 out of 3 fall matches. And Scarpa's big hold was the sleeper. I don't remember who won the first fall. Well, I don't remember if Padusis won the first fall or not. But I do know that Scarpa, to win the fall he won, put the guy in the sleeper hold. And if you're familiar with the sleeper hold, supposedly it knocks the guy out, and you have to revive him by rubbing on his shoulders or whatever and
Yes.
slapping him in the back of the head or
Yes.
you know. But Scarpa did that. He won the fall, and then he got up, and the referee's telling him, "Okay, wake him up." And the guy says, "No, I'm not going to do it."
Huh.
And so he's sitting there going, "Well, okay." Referee calls for the next fall. Scarpa just goes over there, lays across him again, gets the 1, 2, 3, wins. And then he wakes him up, and Paducas gets up, and he's kind of like, "Okay, I'm ready for the next fall." And says, "Nope, sorry, you lost both of them."
Oh, wow.
He's like, "What?" Because he'd been in a sleeper the whole time. But that was always kind of a fun hold, which they don't use much anymore, but used to be a big one.
Yeah.
And another hold you don't see anymore, and you've probably never heard of, Bullzie, is the Iron Claw.
Oh, man.
Big one for Fritz von Erich.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yes, many times there.
And actually, the younger sons used it too, but not to the extent Fritz von Erich did.
Iron
That was
Claw.
his big thing. It was kind of like putting his hand on your forehead and applying pressure or whatever.
Cause you to fall asleep or be in pain there.
It was kind
that
of
was just a hold.
a submission hold of sorts.
Yeah, getting it to tap out.
There were other
Yeah.
people that used it, but it was basically Fritz von Erich's main thing. And like I said, the other von Erichs used it too, but not to the extent Fritz did. And the only other guy that I can remember using it a lot was a guy that used to go through the area once in a while called the Spoiler.
I heard that name.
Mask
I remember
guy.
hearing that. Yes.
Don Jardin, big guy. And he did the walk on the top rope thing before the Undertaker ever did.
Yeah.
You know, where he got up and walked the top rope or whatever, like a tightrope.
Yeah.
But the Spoiler's another one's interesting to look up. He used to get managed by Gary Hart, who was a big manager down here. And basically, when I say down here, it's mainly WCCW.
Yeah.
Because wrestling was huge in this area, especially when the Von Erichs were doing it.
Yeah, because the Von Erichs were like the big wigs in the Texas
Right.
wrestling world there.
Yeah, well, Fritz ended up owning the franchise in Dallas, Fort Worth. And obviously
I'm thinking about some of the WrestleManias back in the 2000s. I remember WrestleMania 25, Randy Orton and Triple H being the main event of WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. I thought a lot of it was wrong. WrestleMania and Triple H, Randy Orton, knowing their history and blood feud, do not have been for the title, but Randy Orton should have won the Royal Rumble. Triple H should have talked him into having a match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And once he gets that, Randy Orton wants it in a Hell in a Cell match. So you're creating a blood feud, settling it for 5 years, going on 5 years. So they decided to just end it because it's became very serious. Randy Orton RKOing Stephanie, kissing her, and then beating up the McMahons. Something like that doesn't need a title. It's just a blood feud and serious thing. Put it at WrestleMania inside Hell in a Cell. In 30 minutes, let him kill it. See what happens.
even back then, wrestling was a little more serious than it is nowadays. Nowadays, it's just kind of, I don't know what to call it. I quit watching 2-3 years ago.
It's all just, it's just bullshit right now because, and I agree a lot of people who watch AEW now, they're so geeked up because right now at this point, AEW is providing what the WWE has been lacking for the past 10 years.
Right.
Which is, good storylines, good promos, good good, like ideas and characters. You got to remember, um, AEW has allowed wrestlers to work on their promos, their characters, or storylines, whereas the WWE is like, you're told what to say, what not to say here or there. Even as
Yeah.
an announcer, they're told what not to say and this and that there. And last night we were on Ken's program. We were talking about Joe Crony wanting to work for the WWE. I'm like, really? I think you're better off not working for that company at this point there. And when you look at the
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
Vince McMahon was trying to get all his main eventers like AJ Styles, Paige, Aleister Black, and Zelina Vega, shut down their Twitter accounts, their streams there. It's like, come on, what the hell's going on there? Can't they earn money on the side there?
You
Apparently
know,
not.
wants to control everything. You know what? I wish WWE was in a better state.
Yeah,
Because
we all believe that.
yeah, but you know what? This is why I like AEW. It's more, free and organic, and characters actually feel genuine. So it's just like everything about WWE just feels fake. Doesn't
Well, the
matter.
one guy that I've heard about in AEW, and I've actually seen some of the promos and things he's done, is that, what's it, MJF?
MJF, yes, that's his name. Yeah, the leader of the Pinnacle.
Yeah, some of his stuff is like, this guy's on it.
Yeah. So far, the only one that's kind of on it right now have to be in the WWE would have to be, of course, the Miz. He kind of like channels the old Bobby the Brain Heenan type of stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah, Miz is about the only one there that I see that, and like I said, I'm going by what people are saying, and then I'll go check. That's how I found out about MJF. I heard about him, and
Yeah.
I'll check him out, and I went and checked it out.
You
And I
know,
was like, yeah, well, this guy's actually pretty good.
it's kind of funny as I mentioned, like AEW is now the new WCW. My bad.
Yeah.
I was looking for that video to send in the chat there. I already sent two of the videos, including actually one of the videos that you sent me, and I'm putting in the Skype chat right now, including this one I remember sawing on a TV show there. Okay,
Yeah.
there.
Well, if I find some old interesting angles, I'll, because every once in a while I'll have to rekindle my memory, and
Yeah.
I'll see something. Oh, I remember that. Because believe me, I watched a lot of wrestling from the mid '60s through, well, essentially the '90s.
Yeah. I feel like 90s was its peak of wrestling.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people knock him, but I think the Vince Russo era was actually some of the best
He does.
in WWA.
Believe it or not, so many people out there, who are complaining about the WWE days or are about younger than you and I are the ones who probably only grew up with the attitude as little kids. So I'm kind of like expecting that to be carried on. But then you got to remember, when the WWF became public, started getting involved with the stock market there, they had to really start toning things down because,
Yeah,
because of the, of course, upsetting the stockholders. Like, for example, you
right,
remember all the stockholders who were involved with Time Warner? They were threatening to sell their stock because of Ice-T's Body Count song, Cop Killer, back in 1992.
right.
Because they were appalled by the story behind the song there. But we all know what the song's about there, what it was directed towards. But these were stock, people who probably don't have a clue what was going on in the real world out there. All they know is that if people are selling their stocks, the WWE would be screwed over that. And I guess Vince
Right.
McMahon didn't want to go through that there, so he's got to keep everything happy. Got to keep the shareholders in place there. Record companies and movie studios are the same way, I guess.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, everybody's just so scared of the 3 or 4 that make noise. By
Absolutely,
and
yeah,
large, a lot of them won't do it, but there's 3 or 4 of them that make noise
yeah,
and disturb everything.
yeah.
Um, yeah, wrestling pretty much is dead unless you watch AEW. It's just pretty
Yeah.
much get
You,
back to the game.
Well,
well, it's
well,
kind of
and
a shame,
well,
Bullzie, that you didn't get to watch back in the day. I mean, that.
there's a lot of clips on YouTube of now from the WCCW and the AWA, USWA, original NWA, old WWF, way before it was, or actually the WWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation there. That's on YouTube
Right.
right now. Definitely look it up, all those matches. Keep getting these recommendations here and there to check those clips out there. Georgia Championship Wrestling, Florida Championship Wrestling with a clean shaven Kevin Sullivan before he became the Devil's Child allegedly. And of
And
course,
the Memphis stuff with Jerry Lawler.
oh yeah, Jimmy Hart with the first family, including Wade Ferris, the future honky tonk man.
Yeah, and there's one fact about Jimmy Hart that I think you know. You knew what he was doing before he became
Yeah,
a wrestling promoter
the
or
Gentry, the band of
manager.
Gentrys. Yeah, Needle in a Haystack was
Yeah,
one of their songs there.
Keep on Dancing was their big one.
Yep.
But yeah, he was in that group, and I think he was just a singer, but I could be wrong.
May have been, yeah.
I need to look that up someday, I suppose.
And remember, he had this. Remember the wrestling album from 1985? He had a song on that compilation called "Eat Your Heart Out," Rick Springfield.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is something a heel
But
would say when you think about it. But then again, it kind of like speaks volumes of how a guy's girlfriend infatuates over a rock star instead of them.
yeah. Did Bullzie, do you know who Andy Kaufman is?
Mandy Coffin?
Andy Kaufman.
No, Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, the actor.
Coffin. I heard Handy. I heard of a name Handy before, but Coffin.
No,
I guess I heard.
no,
But,
it's Andy Kaufman. He was
oh
an actor, comedian, whatever.
Yeah, he co-starred
no,
on the TV series Taxi on ABC for many years.
Yeah, he was Latka.
Yeah.
no, I haven't
But
heard of him.
but basically, he was involved in a pretty big thing with Jerry Lawler in Memphis wrestling.
Yeah, he was the heel
Are you
alongside with
aware of that, Dr. Earl?
Yes, I remember hearing about that. They were both on Letterman. They did this match together where Kaufman apparently had an injured neck because of a power driver that Laura gave him. Um,
Right.
Kaufman started running his mouth, and then Laura all of a sudden gets up and smacks Kaufman right off the chair there on David Letterman's show, Late Night with David Letterman.
Yeah, that was a pretty big angle. And then Lawler talks about it later. Said, "Boy, Kaufman was ready to go. He wanted to be involved."
He loved it, yes.
And,
And also, Kaufman often did wrestling matches with women as
yeah,
well. He would entice the women up. He would get them upset or was saying some derogatory shit to them, and they would get in the ring and they would duke it out there.
yeah.
That was the original. Those were the original intergender matches back in the day. There before ones like Tessa Blanchard and Abaddon or anybody else got involved in with Sammy Callahan
Yeah,
as well.
he did. He was really good at stirring things up, and obviously it was a work and all, but still, he wanted to do that. He wanted to be a part, and that's the part he played.
Yeah.
And it was just funny to see this guy that you'd seen on TV as an actor and as a comedian. All of a sudden, he's involved in wrestling.
Yeah. But then again, let's not
But
forget.
yeah,
But then let's not forget. Many often actors have and TV shows have been included in pro wrestling for a while there. Jon Stewart was in an
right,
angle with John Cena, and guess whichever opponent he was involved in. Um, David Arquette was involved with Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff for a while when the New Blood segment at WCW there. A lot of
right.
people still were probably giving him a lot of flack over that bullshit there. That kind of saying that almost was one of the things that killed that company there. It took him how many years for Arquette, to tag to redeem himself when he and some other opponents took down the late great Josephus in a hair versus hair match, which the loser would be Shade Bald. And of course,
That
Josephus will later go on to become the question mark in the current NWA until his passing a year and a half later.
hair versus hair match, some people may look good bald,
You
others
got
just don't.
Curry Angle. Curry Angle is one of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Angle any other way but bald to me would look weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kurt Angle is one of the greatest professional. Well, I guess that's a big statement to make. I think he's one of the greatest professional wrestlers, and I think
Oh,
he.
he was a great amateur wrestler.
Yeah, it was. Remember, he would wrestle in Olympics with a busted neck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
won,
I
didn't
saw
he?
some of those wrestling matches. He's very good, like very powerful. And when I saw Brock Lesnar wrestle, he was just as dominant, except more aggressive.
Yeah, well, that's how they build him as this aggressive beast incarnate, this monster, I'm going to
Well, he's a huge guy.
He is. Of course, you got to be huge. You absolutely have to be
Yeah.
huge to take all those bumps and bruises, and just get right up. Because remember,
Yep.
Vince McMahon don't want you got to train your ass off. You got to go through neck routines where you got to make sure your neck is very, very loose and stuff. So that way for whichever bumps you're going to take, it's not going to do any damage. And one thing you also got to remember, very important, because someone in a wrestling match didn't follow this and paid with their lives with this. When you're slammed onto the ground, onto the canvas, you always you put your head forward. If you were to land on your back with your head way down, hitting the canvas along with it, that could break your neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen many wrestlers have issues with their neck years on down the line. Daniel Bryan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson, Paige. She was in tears when she was talking about her neck, being fucked up. She had many surgeries on her neck. Daphne, who passed, as we mentioned, passed away this past week. She was having, she had a few surgeries in her neck there. Buff Bagwell, his neck had to be fused together because of a botch in a match between him and Rick Steiner.
Yeah. Boy, if you've ever seen that, you wonder how in the world his head didn't come off.
Oh gosh, man.
One of the people I think is kind of underrated is Tommaso Ciampa. He had a neck problem too. And it
Yeah.
wasn't because of how he landed on his back or neck. Because of the matches he was having with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
And a lot of that took a toll on his neck.
Oh yeah.
And none of it was really landing on it. It was just parts of the matches were towards his head. So
Yeah.
it's just like, ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, in-ring injuries. Have you ever seen the Sid Vicious one where he broke his leg?
Oh, I saw that, man. That
Oh,
was
Oh my gosh.
damn. That was that was
It was
hideous to
improper.
look at.
It was an improper front
Yeah,
drop.
you see that leg?
I saw
No,
that
he,
and I was
he
like,
was coming
holy.
off the second
The
set
second
of ropes.
second ropes, I guess, was against Scott Steiner. Something
And
I don't
he landed, and you could see his leg snap
snap.
and go
Ooh.
backwards.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you
I'm
see it, and it's like,
wondering.
yeah, it's broke.
How did he come off the rope? Because I haven't seen that in a
I'm
long
going to
time.
look
Is
it
it
up.
like-
I'm going to look for the video clip of that. I'm going to definitely put in this chat here along with the other 3 videos in here that I posted here for you.
Yeah, we just need to look at what exactly he did wrong.
Okay.
Maybe it
Well,
was stretching issue
Basically, he landed wrong.
yeah.
while doing
Basically.
the kick, or just
When he came off the ropes, somehow he landed on his foot wrong, and his leg just snapped.
Yep. And by the way, I wonder, did anyone from Malcolm McLaren's management, the guy who managed the Sex Pistols, did he ever contact Sid Vicious over the name being related to the late Sex Pistols member?
I don't know.
Because I've always
Because
wondered
Vicious
that.
had that name, I think, before that.
Yeah, there was a Sid, as you know, there was a Sid Vicious, the supposed bass player for the Sex Pistols, who didn't really play bass. He couldn't play the damn thing. But he don't know he was one of the considered a punk rock icon with his sneers, spiked hair, leather jacket. Let's also not forget that he was a heroin addict. And basically, I wondered if by chance did anybody from that particular management ever came down on the wrestler Sid Vicious because of that name.
I don't know, but I think
Unless
Sid
the
Vicious.
which one?
I think the wrestler Sid Vicious was around before Sid Vicious, the supposed bass player.
Oh yeah.
But I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
I know Vicious has been around a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when that incident went down where he broke his leg, people were saying, "Oh, Sid Vicious will never wrestle again." Bottom line there.
Oh, yeah. But a lot of people that said they wouldn't wrestle again did come back.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan, of course, Edge as
Yeah.
well, who also had a neck injury as well. Paige stated that she is going to keep Skinny checked up on her neck there.
Unfortunately, I think it would take her another 5 years.
That's true there. All right,
I
send the
did say-
Skype chat on the Bullzie. Definitely check it out. Sid Vicious breaks leg on TV there.
Yeah, that was a televised match.
Yeah, it was. I was like, and very hideous to look at, man. That is freaky to look at, man. Very freaky, man.
Yeah, I just want to analyze that again because I forgot how he landed. It just looks so bad. Oh my god, the leg was just crookedly.
Oh, you just see it?
Yeah, I think he did, yes.
That is. Oh,
Brutal to watch, ain't it?
yeah. This is one of those days that pro wrestling is one of the most dangerous sports to even participate in.
Oh, MMA is just the same. Well, I mean, like the fighting is real, and you have to check out, as Evangelista Santos and his, dented forehead.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that right there tells you you're going to be in for a treat there. A couple female MMA fighters. There was this one whose name escapes me. She had a lot of bruises on her forehead. She almost looked like the Elephant Man when you think about it. Look up MMA serious injuries, and you see what I'm talking about. Very brutal. Very,
okay.
very brutal. Believe me, you're going to be shocked by all this, especially the dented head injury that the guy I mentioned received.
Well, if you look up wrestling injuries, it's amazing how many of them are broken noses.
Jeez.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The eye.
Yep.
Dude. I can see the head just caved in after a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I'm telling you? I know. Oh man, I'm speechless myself when I saw all that. Like, holy motherfucker, bro! How
Dude,
the fucking hell?
I know, dude. I'm looking at a guy's eye, and it just looks so bad.
I know it is. Very scary to look at, man. Makes you wonder, like, oh damn. And like I said, MMA fighting is real, and the intensity between the fighters is real as well there. And when you think
Right.
about it, it makes you glad that CM Punk, got out of that there because remember he tried his hand in a couple of times and failed.
Yeah.
And let's not forget Conor McGregor, slipping on the in the octagon there, and he twisted his ankle all to hell there. And yet, credit to him, he was able to take a microphone and go yell at his opponent, saying things like, "Your wife has been in my DMs."
Oh, Jesus. I'm looking at but now I'm just looking at a man's head.
Yeah.
I'm
Eventually,
I'm not sure if he's
uh,
from
um,
Ed and Eddie, but oh my god. It looks like his head looks just so bad. It's a big lump. Just a big whole lump. No, it's just part of his head
I
on
know.
his right side. But still, it just looks so bad.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's a shock to look at, man.
Well, this is proof that fighting can kill you.
Yeah, think
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah. I mean, like many MMA fighters suffer from jammed fingers, broken bones, ligament tears, and despite the using the gloves, by the way, when we think about it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And most of the injuries occur in the hand because of the punching and the striking that the fist is involved here.
yeah. It's and in a UFC fight, street fight, anything bad could happen. So you take the necessary precautions to protect yourself.
Right.
Absolutely, folks.
And you looking at UFC fights injuries is just enough to tell you and that fighting can kill you. People have died in fights before.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that many times in the past there.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I do like fighting here, right? But it's just that when you know you can do harm, just like you want to take that risk.
Yeah, that's true. All right. What time is it right now? It's Central Time is 13 after 8 p.m. here.
Ooh, I need to cut out.
Yeah, I know. I think it's time. I think we're kind of near at the end of that time of the night there. I think we
But this
discussed.
was fun, Bullzie.
It was fun, absolutely, man. We gave a lot of the Bulls man here some information, about with the wrestling from years ago there. We discussed the suicide rate in the pro wrestling there and everywhere else there. And speaking of which, I'm going to give out a number there, which I did on a couple last year there. This is for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and the number is 800 273 8255. There is help out there. Don't take your own life. Call someone. Help is available out there no matter what. Speak with someone today if you feel like you're at the end of the rope. And I'm also going to quote something where the electrifying Mojo used to say during his broadcasts. When you are feel that you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and keep telling yourself, ain't nobody bad like me.
Yep.
Oh, okay there.
I
All
can
right.
believe it.
All right there. And that concludes today's episode of Arknolia and the Doctor. We'll be back live with our look at prog rock on this coming Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time there, followed by Real Spuck TV with me and the Minnesotas, Vikings fan, and Super Bowl hunter there. And we thank Bullzie for coming on the air with us,
Oh, yeah.
to add to the
Absolutely.
program here. Absolutely. Definitely got to have you back next time this Thursday if you're available, dude.
Well, thanks for inviting me on. I would like to come back. I
Yeah,
can again.
definitely. I figured, we were a couple times we spoke about wrestling and everything else, suicide. We figure we do that out of the way, get that out over and done there, talk about all the issues with pro wrestling and good and bad here. So I figure we
Well,
got.
if I was to reminisce, I could spend hours on pro wrestling. So
Oh yeah, there. All right,
Yeah.
sir.
I
So
just got to think about it.
yeah. So this definitely concludes episode 60 of our Pro Music Memories program there. For Arknolia, myself, and Bullzie, you guys have yourselves a good Monday evening, okay?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.